Welcome to the Gemba video by the Asian Productivity Organization. In Japanese, the word Gemba means the place where tasks are carried out. We would like to show you good examples of workplace practices from Japanese production sites. We hope you can use them as a guide for your own management improvement. Today's theme is creating a Kaizen culture.
Kaizen is a Japanese methodology that means continuous improvement. The purpose is to improve productivity, quality, and safety of products and working place through small ideas without huge investment. One of the key feature of Kaizen is bottom-up from Gemba. In other words, employees-initiated approach. In the Kaizen process, when employees find problems or issues in daily tasks and come up with ideas for solutions, they spontaneously and proactively suggest them. After that, the team tries to gradually modify or adjust the ideas through trial and error approach. Such small ideas from employees can create huge impact in a step-by-step process. One of the importance of Kaizen is to build a team that has a mechanism and environment that continuously generate Kaizen from employees. This video introduces the case of Asagiri Maple Farm, a Japanese dairy operation that promotes employee-initiated Kaizen approach. In this video, we will see how Asagiri Maple Farm creates teams to generate Kaizen idea and activities from Gemba, and how it motivates other employees to achieve job satisfaction. We will also learn how the company intends to evolve its business in the future.
We will show you an overview of Asagiri Maple Farm Private Limited. Asagiri Maple Farm is a dairy farm located in Fujinomiya City, Shizuoka Prefecture, at the foot of Mount Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan. The corporation was founded in 1945, and the current CEO, Jun Maruyama, has taken over the business as a manager since 2020. As of 2024, the company has about 20 employees and 550 cows. A dairy farmer has a variety of duties: cleaning cow barns, growing feed, feeding, milking, calf births and care, cow health checks, hoof trimming, composting, grassland management, and much more. Basically, each employee is expected to be responsible for all tasks, so they need to learn a lot. Dairy farming is one of the industries that generally requires heavy labor and long working hours. There are also many situations where employees will encounter danger. This is why there is a great potential for improvement, so-called Kaizen, to make a big difference in efficiency and safety through its activities. In Asagiri Maple Farm, employees suggest ideas to improve the on-site environment. Recently, for example, neck warmers were introduced as a Kaizen activity to wrap around the necks of newborn calves to maintain their health. They cost only a few hundred Japanese yen for each, but they have a significant effect on reducing the risk of sickness for calves. The company also values speed. They implemented this Kaizen activity just 2 days after it was proposed by an employee. Now let's have an interview with Ms. Hasegawa, who proposed this idea.
I have been working for Asagiri Maple Farm for 8 years in March 2024. Through job hunting, the company caught my eye because I like animals. In an interview, the current CEO, Mr. Maruyama, said dairy farming is a job where you can maintain the health of cows. I really sympathize with that idea and started working here. There are a couple of seniors who have been working here for 12 to 13 years or so. I was impressed by how independently everyone was thinking and working. I think that there is a strong desire in each of us to improve the workplace. Now I'm a chief for milking. I have experienced a wide variety of work in dairy farming, caring for milking cows, feeding them, and so on. I always make sure that I am available when needed. About the Kaizen activity with neck warmers, It all started with a regular study session on calves held by the Japan agricultural cooperatives that I joined. In this session, I learned that calves are very sensitive to the cold, and it is important to keep their neck warm because there are thick blood vessels around a calf's neck. It is just like how a person's thyroid glands get swollen when they catch a cold. At that time, I realized our cows were wearing nothing. We didn't need expensive neck warmers, so we instantly bought some and put them on the calves. After putting them on the calves, I got some comments from my colleagues such as, "They look cute," directly through our communication tool, LineWorks. The CEO also told me my idea was very good. As for the suggestion, it didn't take up much time or effort. All we had to do was put the neck warmers on the calves a while after they were born. To examine the result of the Kaizen activity, we compared a number of cases in which calves were in bad conditions, such as high fever and diarrhea, from this year and last year during the same period. We found that the number of such cases had decreased considerably this year, and they were all drinking milk and growing up well. Through the Kaizen activities at Asagiri Maple Farm, not only me, but every staff member can contribute with his or her own idea. We are always thinking about how we can do our jobs better or about how to do our work more efficiently. We are always updating our way of thinking and working. It's thanks to Mr. Maruyama, who has developed the organization in such a way. There are many Kaizen activities that we are still working on, and I'm sure that everyone has some ideas that they want to do in the future. I believe that the farm will be better by keeping Kaizen activities.
As Kaizen activities, some visualization improvements have also been done recently. For example, to improve the effectiveness of footwear disinfection, the disinfection tank at the entrance to the calf barn was divided into two. Also, red tape was applied to show the difference between the baking soda and salt trays in a cow barn. And as one of the 5S activities, shape matching was introduced in the tool storage area in order for everyone to understand where to place each tool immediately. The mechanism that generates such Kaizen activities was established by CEO Mr. Maruyama from scratch. Here is the interview with Mr. Maruyama.
The key to getting employee suggestions is to make it easier for them to say their opinions. Everyone gets nervous to speak up at big meetings face-to-face with other members. It's fine if they have experience and expertise, but new employees may hesitate to do so. In order to ease the stress, we use a chat tool called LineWorks to encourage them to speak up. Employees are expected to immediately write about any issues and ideas that come to their mind about their work. This allows them to say things without hesitation, because they don't have to look anyone in the face. In addition to this, the chat tool stores data, so all suggestions will be considered. All of the employees can see the ideas and proposals together, and consider and monitor every idea and proposal until it's implemented. When I was working as one of the employee staff years ago, I realized that there were many challenges that needed to be improved in the corporation. For example, since the corporation had just been established, there was no system to manage things such as improvement activities. That is why I realized I had to create everything from scratch and felt some responsibility to take action. Most dairy farms have not yet created manuals and other safety instructions, which prevent frequent accidents from happening. This is one of the problems in dairy farms all over Japan. I believe if well-arranged systems could be spread throughout the farms, we can increase productivity and improve workplace safety. To expand such systems, I write articles for magazines or give lectures, for example. As I visited dairy farms in Japan, I found an issue that dairy farmers were too dependent on personnel. For example, they have certain knowledge in their mind, but it takes a long time for a new employee to learn it because the knowledge has not been visualized yet. Of course, some expertise is required in this field, but by making things easier to understand as a system, anyone can learn it easily. We have been working to make everything easier to understand for newcomers in the corporation. The first steps were challenging in preparing the manuals, introducing a chat tool, and so on. Later, however, once we got past the difficult stages, everything started to work well. For example, for the first step, I prepared manuals for other staff members by myself to have them suggest their ideas more and more. Once the cycle got going, the manuals were not needed anymore. Adequate methods came out naturally on Gemba. Once the system in place started working, employees were willing to improve and update on their own initiative. I hope the employees will be able to do everything independently. For instance, we encourage them to implement a series of cycles: propose, implement, evaluate, and improve further. They'll feel a sense of accomplishment by doing so. In other words, I should not control every step, because I may hinder their accomplishment. I think it is essential to have them finish their work until the end and realize that they may have made their business better by themselves. Employees are asked to set the dates to implement and evaluate in their proposals as well, because I want them to be involved in every step of implementing their ideas. The above-mentioned concept is also part of our manuals. Also, I try to draw out suggestions from employees by assessing them with a number of suggestions in personal evaluation. Employees are required to learn the basics first, especially when they are new. After that, through developed steps, we tell them how they should work further. We focus on each member's strengths and try to build a system to evaluate and train them appropriately. For that, we have recently conducted an analysis test called Strengths Finder to find out strengths of each employee. With this, we can know the personalities of each member. For example, some members' strength may be strategy, while others may be communication. Knowing what is needed in this Asagiri Maple Farm, we are trying to get employees to work in a way that fits their needs. Lastly, I believe it is basically the most important thing to communicate with employees in order to grasp what they are thinking and feeling. However, when I'm busy or have no time, I'm not able to meet with them as much as I would like to. So we need to have a system that encourages communication. I always schedule a monthly meeting with each employee and make sure to follow through. In the meeting, we basically talk about the results of the past month and goals for the next month. In addition, we try to find out what they are worried about and what they are thinking. Employees are also asked to submit reports at least twice a month so that they can share their opinions without meeting face-to-face through the reports. As our employee skills get better, we would like to expand to a farm size that will allow them to demonstrate their high level of skills. Now, we know that we are able to control 550 cows with only the current 20 employees. As the next step, we would like to challenge ourselves by increasing the number of cows. Furthermore, in the long run, we would like to be a role model for dairy farms to show that staff members themselves can control the cows to this extent. More and more dairy farms have been turning to large-scale corporations recently in Japan. As long as individual businesses, the organization relies on the skill of the dairy farm manager and staff members to carry out tasks in a way managers instruct them to. However, if the organization becomes a corporation, the manager will have to rely on the skills of employees. And employees will be able to improve their farms based on their abilities. I hope that we will be an ideal model farm where operated and improved by initiatives of employees and change the conventional practices in the dairy industry as a whole.
In this way, Asagiri Maple Farm has created a mechanism and environment in which Kaizen ideas and activities are generated by the employees. In addition, they are creating virtuous cycles to update such ideas for continuing impacts. Kaizen is not a one-time activity. It is very important to create mechanisms and environment like Asagiri Maple Farm. This will have a huge impact on enterprise operations in the future. Kaizen is not limited for the manufacturing industry, but also service industries and other sectors, even dairy farming. We hope that this video will helpful to you to improve your organization.